You just spent 6 minutes crafting a text to say no. 3 drafts, 4 apologies, and you still hit send thinking, was that too much? Not enough? Do they hate me now? Meanwhile, they read it in 2 seconds and moved on with their life. Here's the brutal truth. You're not being considerate. You're being exhausting. And I need you to understand something that nobody's telling you. The more words you use to defend yourself, the less people actually trust you. Sounds backwards, right? In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the 5 specific things that genuinely confident people refuse to explain, and the psychological reason why every extra sentence you add is secretly destroying your credibility. Fair warning, number 3 is going to make you uncomfortable, because you probably did it today. I used to be the person who wrote essays to decline coffee invitations, the person who apologized before asking questions, the person who brought receipts to every conversation like I was defending a dissertation, until I learned what you're about to learn. Point 1. The thing confident people never explain, number 1, why they declined. Here's what changed everything for me. No is not the beginning of a negotiation, it's the end of one. But you don't use it that way, do you? Someone asks you to cover their shift. You don't say, I can't. You say, I can't because I have this thing at 3, and also I've been really tired lately, and I promised my friend I'd help them move, and honestly, I'm just so overwhelmed right now. Congratulations, you just gave them 4 door handles. Oh, you're tired? This shift is super chill. Your friend thing is at 3? This ends at 2. Overwhelmed? That's exactly why you need the distraction. You didn't set a boundary. You opened a courtroom. The psychology. Here's what most people don't understand. When you add reasons, your brain thinks you're being thorough, considerate, building trust. But the other person's brain hears, this decision is up for debate. Psychologically, over-justification signals doubt. It tells people you don't trust your own judgment, so why should they? Think about it. When your boss says that won't work, do they explain why for 3 minutes? No, because authority doesn't explain, it states. You don't lack the authority to say no, you just keep giving it away. The fix. Next time someone asks you for something you can't or won't do, I can't make that work. That's it. Full stop. Mouth closed. The silence that follows, that's not awkward. That's just them adjusting to the fact that you're no longer volunteering for cross-examination. Try it once. Watch what happens. They just accept it, because there's nothing to argue with. Okay, pause. If you're still watching, you're probably thinking, but that sounds rude. It's not, and here's how I know. Rudeness is dismissing someone. Clarity is respecting them enough to be honest. Over-explaining isn't politeness. It's anxiety wearing a customer service smile. Let's keep going, because this next one, this is the one that cost me years. Point 2. The thing confident people never explain, number 2, is their life choices. Family dinners, work events, random acquaintances who think your relationship status is public domain. So when are you going to settle down? Why'd you leave that good job? You're still renting? And suddenly you're there, fork in one hand, your entire life philosophy in the other, explaining yourself to your aunt who still thinks Facebook is the Google. Here's what I need you to hear. When you justify your life choices to people who didn't ask to understand, you're not sharing, you're seeking permission. And permission from the wrong people is worse than no permission at all. The psychology. There's a concept in social psychology called the spotlight effect. It's the phenomenon where you think everyone is watching and judging your every move, when actually they're barely paying attention. Your aunt doesn't care about your 5-year plan. She's just making conversation. But you heard her question as justify your existence. So you did, for 8 minutes while she was already thinking about dessert. Here's the reframe. Confident people understand that explanation is not required where judgment is not qualified. Your aunt isn't living your life. Your coworker isn't paying your bills. That random person at the party isn't in your head at 3 a.m. So why are you filing reports to them like they're your board of directors? The fix. When someone asks you about your personal timeline, try this. I'm good with where I'm at. Then, and this is key, take a bite of your food. Physically remove your ability to keep talking.
Watch what happens. The conversation just moves on because you didn't give them an opening. You didn't invite feedback. You stated your reality and went back to living it. That's not cold. That's complete. But here's where it gets interesting. Because the thing confident people don't explain the most is not about other people at all. It's about themselves. And if you've ever apologized for needing time alone, this next part is going to hit different.
Point 3. The thing confident people never explain. Number 3. Why they need to disappear. Real talk. When's the last time you canceled plans not because you were sick, but because you were just done? Your social battery was at 2%. You needed to sit on your couch and stare at a wall for 4 hours like a phone in airplane mode. But you didn't say that. You said, "I'm so sorry. I've just been so overwhelmed with work and I haven't been sleeping well and I think I might be coming down with something and I really wanted to see you. I feel terrible." You just gave them your medical history to justify needing rest. Here's what that does. It makes them worried about you. It invites them to fix you. It frames your need for space as a problem instead of maintenance. Confident people know something you're still learning. Solitude is not evidence of damage. It's evidence of self-awareness. The psychology. There's a reason you do this, and it's not your fault. Somewhere along the way, you internalized the belief that needing time alone means something is wrong with you, that you're antisocial, difficult, too much. So now every time you prioritize yourself, you feel the need to apologize for existing in a way that inconveniences others. But here's the truth. Your energy is a finite resource. Protecting it doesn't require a permission slip signed by everyone who might be affected. The fix. Next time you need to cancel plans, I need a night in. Let's reschedule for next week. That's it. No symptoms, no trauma dump, no performance of exhaustion. I need a night in. Anyone who makes you feel guilty for that is telling you something about them, not you. Stop for a second. I need to tell you something and it might sting. The reason you over-explain isn't because you're kind. It's because you're afraid. Afraid of being misunderstood, judged, disliked, abandoned. Over-explaining is a trauma response wearing a "I'm just being thorough" t-shirt. And the most heartbreaking part is it doesn't even work. Point 4. The thing confident people never explain. Number 4. Why they are the way they are. You know that thing you do when you meet someone new? Where you feel this weird urgency to pre-explain yourself. I know I seem quiet, but I used to be different and I went through some stuff and I'm working on it. And if you knew the full story, you'd understand why I'm like this. They literally just said hi, but you heard justify your personality. Here's what you're actually doing. You're handing people a lens to view you through before they've had a chance to see who you actually are. The psychology. This is called preemptive vulnerability. Your brain thinks, if I tell them my damage up front, they can't use it against me later. But here's what actually happens. You define yourself by your past before giving your present a chance to speak. You become your trauma, your mistakes, your before photo, even when you're living in your after. Confident people understand something crucial. Your history explains you. It doesn't excuse you. And it definitely doesn't need to be the first thing someone learns about you. The fix. When you meet someone new and feel that urge to overshare, ask yourself, am I sharing this to connect or to apologize for existing? If it's the second one, mouth closed. Your past will come out naturally with people who've earned it as a gift, not a disclaimer. You don't walk into rooms trailing footnotes. Point 5. The thing confident people never explain. Number 5, why they're not sorry. Final one, and this might be the most uncomfortable. How many times today did you apologize for existing? Sorry, quick question. Sorry for the late reply. Sent 8 minutes later. Sorry, could I just... Sorry to bother you. You're not sorry. You're negotiating your right to take up space. Every unnecessary apology is a microtransaction where you trade your presence for permission to exist. The psychology. This is reflexive apologizing, and it's exhausting for everyone involved. Here's what people hear when you over-apologize. I'm not sure I deserve to be here. And here's the cruel irony. That uncertainty makes them less comfortable, not more. When you walk into a room apologizing, everyone has to do emotional labor to reassure you. You've made your presence their problem to solve. Confident people skip that step. The fix? Replace sorry with thanks. Instead of sorry for the late reply, say thanks for your patience. Instead of sorry to bother you, say thanks for your time. Instead of sorry, quick question, just say quick question. Same message, completely different energy. One shrinks, one stands. You don't need to buy tickets to your own life. Here's what I need you to understand. Over-explaining isn't generosity. It's self-abandonment disguised as consideration. Every time you justify your no, defend your choices, or apologize for your existence, you're not being kind. You're leaking power. You're signaling that your first answer wasn't good enough, that you're not good enough without supplementary evidence. Confident people don't have fewer doubts than you. They've just stopped narrating their doubts out loud. They've learned that clarity doesn't require a closing argument. The most powerful thing you can do after making a decision is nothing. Let it sit. Let others adjust. Let the silence speak. Your boundaries are not up for debate.
So here's your one assignment. The next time you catch yourself about to explain something you don't owe an explanation for, stop mid-sentence. Feel the discomfort. That's not a sign you're doing something wrong. That's growth. The urge to fill the silence? That's conditioning, not truth. Ask yourself, am I explaining this because they need to understand or because I'm afraid they won't approve? If it's the second one, close your mouth, breathe through it, let the moment pass. Because here's what I've learned. The people who deserve explanations don't demand them, and the people who demand them will never be satisfied anyway. You're not being rude when you stop over-explaining. You're being done. Done auditioning, done defending, done performing, done giving away your power in exchange for temporary comfort. Your reasons are yours. They live in your head where they belong. Welcome to the other side.